work as a financial analyst over at a company called Johnson Consulting Group, and basically what we do is help funeral homes and crematoriums and cemetery owners manage their finances, help build their business. Typical workday is go online, check my emails. The emails usually have requests or questions from many of my clients. So I spend most of my morning just researching financial information. And then the second half of the day is usually spent reconciling either cash accounts or receivable accounts or revenue accounts, just making sure they're reviewing all the financials to make sure that their folks are putting in the information correctly. The most challenging part is trying to solve pieces of this puzzle. Usually there are missing pieces of information. So the most challenging is trying to draw some conclusions with the evidence that I do have. The fact that my clients lean on me so much, they depend on me to give them this information in a timely manner, and without me, I should say without somebody in my position, chances are they wouldn't know how to read their own financial statements. So that part is enjoyable. So you feel like nobody can just walk in and take my place. It would definitely, if I was leaving that company, I'd need to sit down and train somebody on all the pieces of this puzzle. But that's the most enjoyable part. Like Accounting 230, which is the second accounting class. If you're going into finance, obviously you're going to be asked to take plenty of economics classes, which will come in handy for what you're going into. Classes on managerial accounting, pretty much every accounting class that I can think of. Managerial accounting is like cost accounting, so plenty of business classes so you can understand how people, or what people need in order to run their business. Because if you can understand what their goals are, then as a financial planner, or when you go into finance, you can help them reach their goals that way. All of them, because the company that I work for, we don't prepare taxes. So we usually prepare the financial statements to send off to the folks that do their taxes. So our clients usually know right away, at the beginning of the year, if they're going to make the April 15th deadline. And if they're not going to make that deadline, then we have until the end of this year to get their financial statements ready. So every year, every month, every day, there's like a new challenge. So there really isn't like a busy season or a slow season. It's all the same for us. It's a huge range because you can get an entry-level accounting position with no college education at all. Chances are you won't be paid as much, but there are plenty of places that will just train people to do accounting work, and they'll just learn on the job, So you can gain experience that way, like on the job training, and then of course there's people that have their master's degrees or their MBAs in accounting, and those folks obviously offered like much higher paying positions. But really, when it comes to accounting, if you could probably find a position at any education level. It's just like the pay is gonna be a lot different. One I currently have, I just went on Craigslist. I don't know if I told you this before, but I used to teach high school students, right? So I taught high school for 8 years. And at some point I wanted to get out, and I've already worked in accounting before I was a teacher. So while the students like yourself were sitting in their desks taking tests, I was on Craigslist looking on job postings and eventually found my position. I can't really think of any, honestly. I mean, yes, it's a frustrating position because very few things that I do are easy. They're all mentally challenging, but very few negatives. The only negative is just waiting for information. You have to have patience. You have to have a ton of mental discipline. If you have the discipline and the fortitude to just stick with a problem until it's done, no matter how frustrating, then that's like the number one thing. That's the only thing that separates, like, I think, good accountants from the people that get stuck doing bookkeeping, because regardless of the industry, accounting can get frustrating. You just have to have the patience to stick through it until you find the answer. The use of Excel. In the world of accounting, Excel can come in extremely handy because if you know how to use Excel, it does a lot of computations for you. Some people think like, well, because I work in accounting, I must be able to do math like mentally in my head, but that's not the case. Like, I know how to add, subtract, and divide and all that, but I can't do it in my brain. But Excel is like having 20, 50 calculators running at once, you know, so easy. So for most of the problem solving that I try to, most of the problem solving I run into, Excel is like a big help for sure.